Let's begin. Sitting comfortably, close your eyes. Let's take a few moments to bring all our attention back inward. So start with observing the body. See how you're feeling in the body right now. See if there's tightness. See if there's heaviness, discomfort, or a pleasant feeling in some parts. And see if you can be okay with whatever the state right now. With no intention of trying to change it, adjusting anything. Just being okay with the body as is. Observe your breathing. Check if your breathing is rhythmic, relaxed, or if it's a little irregular, maybe faster. And see if you can observe that also without trying to change it. Being okay with whatever the pattern of the breathing. See if you're feeling an urge to change something within the body with the breathing. Just see if you can stay with that urge without acting on it. Observe the state of your mind. Again, checking to see if there are a lot of thoughts, if the mind is a little restless, overactive, or if it is feeling calm and relaxed, at ease, or if there's a feeling of lethargy, laziness, maybe the mind telling you that you need to lie down or sleep, not interested in what you're doing right now. And again, see if you can just stay with whatever the state of the mind. Even if it is restless, with no urge to change it or relax it. Simply observing, acknowledging, being okay with it. The main part of our practice today is going to be this: being the observer, being mindful of everything that's happening, staying alert to observe different aspects of this form that we have, and trying to be okay with everything as it is. So most part of the practice is going to be meditation, but before that we will move the body a bit as well. So set an intention today to observe every urge that is arising in the mind, the urge that is arising in the body to move, and see it for what it is, as it is, trying not to react to anything. Just for this 1 hour, even when we feel discomfort, to see how much we can be okay with it, non-reactive, to whatever extent is possible for us today. With that intention, you can just bring your palms together Start rubbing them. Cup your eyes. Take a few seconds and slowly blink your eyes open. So let's move the body with just one round of Surya Namaskaras. We'll directly get to it. Standing up, coming to the top of your mat. Let's use the opportunity to observe how the body is. We usually start with warming up, loosening up the joints, and then moving into it. But today we are just jumping right to the Surya Namaskaras. So we'll stay in each posture for a while. Make sure you're stable, ready for the practice. Taking a breath in, as you breathe out, move your palms together into Pranamasana. Palms in front of the chest. Observe. Just stay here, seeing if there is an urge in the body to move into the next posture already. Being okay with however the posture is right now, however the breathing is. See how it feels to not know when you're going to move and just be okay in the moment, which means we can't think about the past or the future. We have to be present right here in this moment. The next time you breathe in, raise your arms, lengthening upward, gently arching back. Find a position where you can stay comfortably. If it's too intense, your body again will urge you to move out of it. So neither too intense nor too lax and relaxed. Find the right point where you can stay with a little bit of a challenge. And observe again if there is an urge to move out of the posture. If there is an urge to change or adjust the posture. See if you can just stay with whatever it is. Pleasant or unpleasant feelings. Be mindful of everything that's happening with no urge to move. And as you breathe out next, you straighten up, start leaning forward from the hip joints. Feel free to bend the knees and then take the upper body into the forward fold. Let your head hang loose. Your hands trying to reach the floor. You can straighten the knees if you feel like it. And just stay neutral. Sometimes we realize that some stretches are not very comfortable, but some feel very comfortable and you're okay staying for longer. So see how you're feeling right now. Whether the mind is finding this relaxing, wanting you to stay here, whether it's uncomfortable or the mind wants you to move out of it. Observing the urge, the tendency to either want something to stay for longer or want something to change. Just observe that. And as you breathe in next, placing the fingers palm down, take the right leg back, placing the knee down. Take a few seconds, and once you're in the posture, See how still you can be. Again, coming back to being neutral, very alert to everything that's happening, staying neutral to what's happening. If you feel very strong sensations, take your attention to those muscles and see if you can remain neutral, acknowledging, yes, there is discomfort in those muscles, but you don't have to react to it. And notice what happens. Notice what happens to the strong sensations. And suppose some other part was feeling very comfortable. As you hold with time, notice what happens. Does the rest of the body remain comfortable? Now, as you breathe out next, tuck your toes at the back, lift your knee and slide the left foot back into plank. Shift your shoulders to come right above the wrist. Another nice pose to see how you can remain equanimous, being okay with whatever is happening in the body. The muscles might be more active. Observe if there is an urge to come out of this pose. See if there is a resistance to the discomfort that starts building up. Try to remain neutral, though there is a lot happening with the body. Just saying that I'm okay with the discomfort, whether it's in some parts, whether it's with the breathing, just for a few seconds, being okay. And you can gently place the knees down. As you take a breath in, chest and chin down as you breathe out, keeping your belly off the mat. This is an awkward posture for the body. And notice the urge to move out of it. Or are you feeling like you want to stay here for longer? Either way, just acknowledge, not reacting to it. Every part of the body is okay as it is being held right now. If there is discomfort, take your attention there. Mindful of what is happening, give it all your attention, but just be okay with the discomfort. And see what happens when you just mentally become okay. And now bringing your belly down, stretching the toes out, gently lifting the head, chest off the mat in Cobra pose, Bhujangasana. Time to observe and be okay. This can also feel a little intense. See if you can maintain a neutral mind, a neutral state to whatever is happening in the body, neutral to the urge that might be arising in the mind to move the body. The body and mind are constantly wanting to move. Just assuming that you will be staying here for a while, being okay with whatever is happening right now, as it is. And as you breathe out next, tucking your toes, coming into a mountain pose. Settle yourself into the pose. Go back to observing, staying neutral, observing any urge that comes up in the mind. The body moves most of the time in response to what the mind is saying. Notice if there's discomfort. Observe it carefully. See if you can be okay with it. And the next inhalation, you can bend your knees if needed. Bring the right foot forward between your palms. Coming to Ashwasanchalana, horse rider's pose. Settle down into the pose. You can keep your eyes closed. Just observe what's happening. If it feels challenging, if there is an urge to move out of it or make any adjustments, wherever you are, see if you can stay still, being okay with the state of the body, state of the mind. It's not even like the urge should go away. The mind can feel what it wants to. Let it be. You are just being a witness to it, being okay with it. We are not trying to stop the mind also from doing anything. Let it go according to its nature. See if you can stay in that state of neutrality. And as you breathe out, tuck the toes, gently taking your time to step that foot forward, coming into a forward fold. Stay here and observe. For me, this pose feels very comfortable. Forward folds feel comfortable. And I know that there is a tendency to want to stay there a little longer. So see how you're feeling right now and whether the mind wants you to stay here or wants you to move out of it. Observe. Is it okay with just being here without thinking of what next? Keep observing, staying neutral, and bringing your hands by the side of your ears as you breathe in, coming up all the way, lengthening, gently extending backwards, a more active pose. See what the mind comes up with, what it feels, and stay neutral with whatever is happening. Active poses start feeling challenging with time, little earlier than with other passive folds or postures. See if you can mentally stay neutral no matter what's happening. Without even trying to adjust, being okay with that discomfort for a bit. And as you breathe out, straighten up, bring your palms in front of the chest. Even here, see if there's an urge to bring the hands down right away. Being okay with whatever it is with your palms together still. Just notice the tendency, the urge to move. And breathing in, bring your hands back by the side of your body. And at your own pace, you can slowly come to a seated position. Adjust your posture. Adjust the position of your legs, your hands. Your hands can come in a chin mudra, or you can stack your palms right on top of the left with the thumbs touching each other. Whatever feels comfortable for you. We will try to stay in this posture and not move for the rest of the class. If at any point there are very strong sensations and you're not able to sit, you can feel free to make slight adjustments to feel comfortable. Maybe change the position of your legs or move your back. But as far as possible, we'll try to stay here. So set an intention to try and stay still and stable as far as possible till the end of the practice. Become aware of the whole body now. Become aware of your breathing. Become aware of the state of your mind. Become aware of the one who is watching, the body and mind. There is some part of you that is watching, constantly watching, witnessing everything that's happening with the body and the mind, which is how we know that, oh, I'm feeling this, I am thinking this, I am sensing this in my body. So now, trying to remain the witness, alert, active, yet relaxed. You're going to stay with anything at all that's happening with this form in terms of the body and mind. So you just keep observing the body. If you notice a thought arising, become aware of that as well. Notice how long the thought remains when it passes away. Notice if there are sensations arising in the body. And whenever you notice a sensation of discomfort, just give it all your attention and see what happens. And then remain neutral to it. Whatever the sensation, whatever changes happen, you are just the witness. Whenever you feel something is coming up strongly, is an opportunity to become the witness and stay neutral. Maybe pleasant thoughts will arise. Maybe you will feel pleasant sensations somewhere. These are more subtle, and even those are an opportunity to stay neutral, being the witness, and noticing if there's a tendency to want more of that, a tendency to want any kind of discomfort to end. So, all inclusive awareness of the body and mind. We are not trying to change anything. In our yoga practice, we try to relax, keep the body expanded. We try to relax the mind. Today, we are just the witness. Simply observing how things work in nature, how naturally thoughts arise and pass, how naturally the body is changing, sensations arise and pass. You are just seeing things as they are. Try to experience whatever is happening in this moment, or be the witness of what is being experienced by the body and mind, moment to moment. Just being here now. Acknowledge whatever arises and passes in the body and mind. Staying active and neutral. That awareness in you is fully active. Be the awareness. When the awareness misunderstands and mistakes itself to be the mind, it wants to keep changing things. It wants to keep suffering away. It wants nice and pleasant things. It wants everything to go a certain way. Be the awareness which is watching the mind, watching the body, much bigger than the mind and the body. We started the session with moving the body and then sat down. So the body might be more comfortable. as you keep observing, with time, even the most comfortable posture can start feeling uncomfortable. The law of nature is change. Change means moving from discomfort to comfort, comfort to discomfort, which is why you, the awareness, don't need to react to anything. All you have to do is acknowledge and stay with things as they are. When I, the awareness, thinks it is the mind, it feels that life is about trying to get rid of anything that hurts you, disturbs you, causes discomfort, trying to get more of what gives you comfort, joy. Its understanding of suffering and joy. So all of life becomes about making sure this is not there, getting rid of this, trying to get more of that, trying to sustain something which is good. Just remain that awareness, the witness, that which is the same in all of us, has no limits, no boundaries. We listen to enlightened masters, the saints, the poets, who all talk of how the life that we think we are living is all just arising and passing phenomenon. Everything is temporary. Relationships, possessions, our state of mind, body, emotions, everything is temporary. We know that intellectually, conceptually, but by remaining still and being the awareness, observing, you get that wisdom experientially. Even when we just see it with this body, the mind that we have, whatever truths we hear about existence or life in general, the same thing we can see it within this body, this mind. The awareness that you are can see things clearly. when it does not identify with this form and think that it is limited to the form, it can see the impermanence, the law of nature at work. It can see the futility of leaning towards cravings and aversions. It can see the wisdom in just being neutral, accepting, acknowledging both. And that is the end of suffering. If you notice discomfort in the body, take all your attention there. See if you can stay as neutral, knowing that you are the awareness, observing, acknowledging the discomfort. Observe closely and see what happens to that also. Don't stay with it for long. Neutral means you're not giving all your attention and staying with something while it lasts. No, you give it some attention, see it for what it is, and then move on to some other part or to examine the mind, the mental activity that's arising, passing. If there is an urge in the body to move, notice where that is coming from. What is causing that urge? If you just be okay with the discomfort, is the urge still as strong? Observe the tendency of the mind to keep going off to the past or the future or other random thing. Remain the awareness behind this arising, passing of thoughts, not trying to bring it back. Today, we are not trying to bring it back to anything. Just observe that now thoughts have arisen and the mind is gone somewhere. See how you can be aware of that. If you are completely lost in the thoughts and at some point you realize that, oh, I went away with the thoughts, that is when the awareness had merged with the mind. The moment you realize that, yes, the mind had wandered away, you come back to being that awareness, that I who is witnessing. Initially, when we practice sitting still, If the discomfort in the body feels unbearable, if you're not able to stay neutral, stay the awareness, the witness, small adjustments are okay in the body so that you can come back to that neutral state again of being the watcher, the awareness, the witnessing self. Most of our life, we are giving in to tendencies that come from our latent impressions, certain habits that are formed over time, over lifetimes maybe. So we are either giving in to those, or we have formed this concept of morality, of right living, where we are fighting everything and being rigid about how to live, setting rules and guidelines for ourselves. So sometimes just taking this time to observe things for what they are, neither giving in to the tendencies, nor trying to change things because we think that is good. Being the awareness. Neither the doer who is indulging, nor the doer who wants to change things for the so-called better. Just knowing that we are this awareness. What is happening with the body and mind when we let go naturally is the law of nature. Just being this awareness, knowing that we are this awareness. There might be nothing much left to do. Life will start flowing, aligning with the law of nature, reducing our suffering. Living from this awareness, no mental constructs of right or wrong, good or bad, pleasant, unpleasant, just being. End of suffering that enlightened beings talk about is not the end of any discomfort that we are facing in this manifested form. It is just not being identified with either the contentment, joy, or the suffering. Just being this vastness, this unbounded awareness that we are. We have a few more minutes, so let's stay in complete silence, being this witness, the awareness, being neutral, equanimous, observing everything for what it is, with no urge to change or react. The mind can even question what you're doing, why this is necessary, why you have to put yourself through all this. Or it might have gone off to other thoughts from the past or future projections. Stay alert to notice whatever it is. The body is easier to observe, the mental activity a little more challenging. But stay that awareness, moment to moment, aware of everything that's happening, establishing yourself as that awareness. Even if you get carried away by thoughts, the moment you realize that is when you become that awareness again. You have brought that little distance between what is happening in the body and the mind. You, as the awareness, have the ability to observe and witness what is happening with the body and mind as if it could be any body and mind, anyone's form. If you're feeling strong sensations in the body and feel the urge to move, just try to stay a little longer as the witness, as if this is someone else's body you're watching. If you stay a little longer, you will notice the law of nature acting here as well. Even the discomfort may change. But we are still the neutral witness. Pleasure, pain, knowing that I am the awareness. Whatever is happening with the body-mind are just the ever-changing phenomena showing up, expressing. Continue to remain that awareness. We will end our seated practice, so you can just gently, at your own pace, lie down. We'll relax, lie down, just allowing that flow of energy again throughout the body, coming back to that complete silence and stillness. Become aware of the whole body. Again, see if you can remain a witness. Because you are just releasing from the posture, the sensations could be what the mind considers pleasant. If you are feeling nice about it, see if you're identified again with this body and mind. Become that witness who can see this also as changing, passing phenomena. Being neutral. Seeing it for what it is, instead of identifying, feeling nice, wanting more of it. So stay very alert, aware. Once the strong body sensations settle down, just imagine that the whole body is dissolved, disintegrated, that there is no form. And notice that you who are observing is all there is. You who are witnessing now is not limited, is limitless, infinite, all expansive. This who you are has no fear, no insecurities, anxieties, fears, suffering. This who you are is just beingness. There's no other way to describe it. This who you are is not limited to the body, mind, the form that we are always identified with. We think we are that. But this is who or what we are. This is our reality. Come back to your body awareness, remembering this reality of yours, of each one of us, knowing who we are in essence. So start to move the body, feel the body weight, the body parts touching the mat, remembering the direction in which you are lying down. You can go ahead, take your hands overhead, bring back that aliveness, activeness in the body, and bending your left leg, turn to your right. Take your time to come back to a seated position with your eyes closed if possible. Taking a few moments, noticing the state of the body, the state of the mind, mental, emotional, being, continuing to be that awareness. And let us all try and remain that awareness as much as possible, even in our day-to-day life. It's easier on the mat, maybe not so easy here as well, but in our day-to-day life, it's a lot more challenging. But with practice, we get more and more established in that true essence of who we are, instead of being identified with the form, the body and mind. Being that awareness, let us end our practice wishing that all forms, every part of that I, that awareness that's identified with the form, finds freedom, liberation from that identification. We will chant Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu. Sukha here meaning that end of suffering from identification with our limited form, the manifested form. So take a nice breath in. Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. You can rub your palms actively. Cup your eyes. Take a few seconds. With your eyes closed, you can move your palms across your head, face, the whole body once. And cupping your eyes again, you can blink them open. Thank you.